welcome to a Great Day, Connecticut. It's a Ladies' Day edition. Happy to be here with Melissa.
Happy to be with you, my chit-chat in the office partner.
We spend a lot of time having to say, I can't talk to you, I can't talk to you, I have to get work done.
When I put my headphones on, I know.
To talk to each other.
You can't talk to me. Yes, we have plenty to talk about, too. There's a lot going on. Like today, do you know you can actually leave work early today?
That is a good excuse. It says it is National Leave the Office Early Day.
No, don't take it from us, really. Check with your boss. But June 2nd is the day that it's reminded Americans, hardworking Americans, take a little time for yourself.
Take a little time for yourself. Maybe go take, if you can't leave early, maybe take a little longer lunch break, take a little walk outside. It's going to be nice enough to do that? Yeah.
It's not really going to be the best afternoon, but you might be able to take it.
See, we're inside. I don't know what's going on out in the world, but leave early. This is actually, if you want to tell your boss something, this day was started by an employee productivity specialist to strike the balance between working to live versus living to work. And of course, in this great resignation right now, that's a lot of work-life balance is being addressed by companies.
Absolutely, and I feel like Europeans have kind of figured it out a little bit better than we have, the whole work-life balance situation.
Well, you know, if you know anyone, they always say that we live to work and they work to live.
Right.
You know, so we could learn a little bit. All right, legal victory for Johnny Depp. I know all over social media, a lot of people have been excited about this. The social media world certainly sided with Johnny Depp, but he has won his defamation suit against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. They did award both of them some money, but by far and away went to him and really vindicated him. He's saying that he feels humbled and that he only went after this to tell the truth, and he now feels like he can move on with his life.
Hopefully he'll get his career back on track, because I know that's been an issue for him, but just amazing how this really captured everybody, like even your daughter, our daughters, right? Like that, they don't even really know these celebrities necessarily, but it just became
my
something.
My daughter loves Johnny Depp now, and I'm thinking, I remember Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street. How do you even know? And then it turns out they're all watching it on TikTok, and you know, the world just, I guess, he seemed authentic.
Yeah.
So, not to accuse anything, but basically the world decided that they did not believe Amber Heard. Now, the jury did award her. The jury awarded her $2 million and no money for punitive damages, but they awarded Depp $10 million and $5 million in punitive damages. She won't have to pay all that because there's a cap in Virginia, but bottom line, of the two, he won.
Yeah. Captivating to see. And what else is captivating is the cute little queen getting ready for the big Jubilee weekend, which kicks off today, and honoring her 70 years on the throne. That's crazy.
Isn't that incredible? And they've been, you know, it's a star-studded act. I mean, the parties that are getting, it's just the biggest event ever. They've got all of these actors and actresses and singers and everyone coming out. I mean, she is just, it is kind of amazing.
And listen, there have been 7 popes since 1952. There have been 7 popes, 14 U.S. presidents, 13 British prime ministers, but there's only been 1 British monarch.
Yeah, and if you watch this, like, it's just kind of interesting if you've watched any of, whether it be The Crown or if you watched on PBS, it was Victoria. Here she was, she just became the queen because her uncle had abdicated the throne. I mean, she was 3rd in line. She was never supposed to be the queen, and she just got thrust in there, and she's obviously done a remarkable job. But she wasn't even the one who was supposed to be queen back in the day when she became the youngest ruling monarch.
So
25.
70 years later.
70 years later, she did a good job and figured it out.
Absolutely.
And I always think I always think of the Queen whenever you're hosting people, because she always says appetizers should be easily eaten in 1 bite. It's got to be like, you shouldn't have to bite into it.
Because if you're socializing with people, you don't want to have something, you know, cumbersome.
Like when they come out with the chicken skewers, I always think, you're like, I love this, but the Queen would not approve. It's supposed to be a little, you know, like the Ritz cracker with the peanut butter.
Or the hot dog in a little bun. Pigs in a blanket. All right, well, here's something interesting that might come in handy. Did you know that dogs actually could do a better job of detecting COVID-19 compared to some rapid tests?
Isn't this incredible? Basically, the dogs got everything right. There were a couple they got wrong, but only because there was literally 2 tests, and they said the coronavirus was present. It just wasn't COVID-19. But the rapid tests were only slightly better than the dogs at identifying negative cases. But other than that, I mean, it's just amazing. I guess, you know, they can smell something that we can't, and they say it shows great promise to be used when the tests are difficult to administer, such as at nursing homes or large places.
Can you imagine, though, if you were invited to, a big party of some sort and, you tested negative on your home test or whatever to get into this party, and then they had a dog going around and sniffing out the people who had COVID? Yeah. You're like, sorry,
I'm thinking that your regular dog isn't going to be trained to do this, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you'd have to have like a real dog. They have to be certain canine sniffing dogs. But it is really crazy to me. Sometimes they can sniff, you've seen stories that they can sniff cancer, or if you're going to have a stroke or something like that. So it's pretty incredible.
It is really amazing. Now, if you have Instagram, and Instagram is trying to get better about health and well-being, they're now going to start putting out Amber Alerts.
I think this is a really good idea. Yeah, so starting on Wednesday, the social media platform will notify users of missing children in the areas that they're reported by law enforcement. So it will only be in your specific area. And they'll include details about the missing child, as well as photos of the location and where the suspected abduction happened. The parent company Meta says the alerts will be rare and really just specified to your particular area. But this could be a really useful tool.
Well, they're designing it so it can be easily shared with friends and followers. And the interesting now is you have an Amber Alert. You've probably had this happen on your phone where an alarm goes off and you immediately see a child's name and where they were last seen. But I think the power of Instagram is in the photo. And what if you happen to
see that,
and it's in your area, and you're like, wait, I know them, and I just saw them at the 7-Eleven.
Or they just posted that they were at, someplace, then you could hone in on the area a little bit more. So I think it's a great idea.
So I used to love Howard Johnson.
Me too. We used to have one in West Hartford, like right on Farmington Avenue.
Oh, there was
growing up. I had my first communion party there afterwards. They had best little. Remember those blueberry muffin tops? I don't know.
I like to go, and I got the chocolate cake with a chocolate. It was like the chocolate cake sundae had ice cream and hot fudge. Yeah. And I'd always want to go share with a friend. I remember sometimes we'd in the summer take recyclables we found to go get just enough money to share the chocolate cake.
Oh my
gosh. And we'd pay in quarters. But the last standing Howard Johnson's restaurant in the United States now is closed. It was in Lake George, New York, and it shut its doors.
So sad. The property is now up for lease. This particular location was very popular during the summertime for the last 70 years. So for Hojo fans, it's the end of an era. Once the world's largest restaurant chain and roadside staple in the 1960s and 70s with about 1,000 locations. It always makes me sad when things things that were so popular at one time.
I know.
How do they just disappear?
They can't just have a couple still left.
Yeah, like destinations. So I'm sorry to see that.
Yeah,
but there are still some hotels. There are 300 of them currently owned by Wyndham Hotels. So it's just not the same without the restaurant.
And they're just, at least they're still called Howard Johnson's, I guess so. But it's still the Hojo. Anyway, Father's Day is coming up.
Are you spending a lot of money on Dennis?
I don't know yet. Dennis is not a thing guy. I think Father's Day is harder than Mother's. Apparently, we're going to all be celebrating in a big way. Not quite as big as Mother's Day, but I just think women are easier to buy for. There's a million things that people could figure out. Okay, get her some bath stuff, get her some cozy things.
I agree. Dads are really hard to shop for. My husband and my dad, it's hard. But apparently, we're going to be spending a lot of money because according to this, we're going to be spending what? $20 billion on Father's Day.
An average of $172 to honor the men in their lives. Now, does that
in general, I mean, the whole thing will be $20 billion. But yeah, an average person spends
$172.
That's kind of high in my family.
Well, sorry, Jeff. No, but I mean, does that count that if you went out to dinner, or does that count? Is it just a thing
like a shirt,
for dad,
a tie, or some socks, or I don't know? Maybe it's the whole. The whole shebang, the whole day.
It's Sunday, June 19th. I think they got a better day than Mother's Day. It's usually warm, so we usually try to go to the beach. Sometimes we'll go take Dennis to, he loves the Abbott's Lobster Bar. And so that's always fun. That's always really busy for Father's Day. So I don't know, I feel like for Dennis, it's more like of an experience.
Yeah, same thing with us.
But he always wants something just, nice from the kids, like sentimental. And that's what I like too. But it's hard to do that. Sometimes the kids are like, are you taking me shopping? I'm like, no, let's find a handprint and we're going to write something.
When they were little, maybe.
I know, now it's harder. They're like, I'm going to go buy Dad a Nike shirt.
Oh, yes.
Our executive producer, Jamie, is saying she's got some ideas for us. Yeah, Jamie, you need to come up with the next, you did the nice Mother's Day stuff. We need some ideas for Father's Day. Maybe like custom
beer stuff.
Beer stuff? I don't know.
Well, anyway, that's Sunday, June 19th, so get ready to spoil Dad a little bit. Now, CEO Elon Musk has some news for all of the employees.
He says you can't phone it in if you're going to work for Tesla. He wants everyone to return to work in person, and if you don't, he's going to assume that you have resigned.
So, you know, this is not a lot of companies are doing this, but I kind of commend him. I mean, listen, everybody has their own opinion on this, and in our job here, we don't really work from home. We kind of have to be here, so yeah. I don't really know what it's like to work from home, but I do think that you're more focused and get the job done.
Yes.
When you're at the office.
As much as I was sometimes envious of folks who were working from home during the pandemic, I do think I like the separation, and for me, I focus better. As long as I'm not sitting next to you, then it's fine. Okay? They have to separate us here. No, but I do think for me, the mental focus, I agree that the hybrid, and if you can do it, probably gives people some flexibility, and that gives them more ownership over their day. And so maybe they want to leave early, see a kid's game, and then do 2 hours of computer work at home. I think that can totally work for people. And most companies are finding out sometimes employees work even more because they want to prove they're working.
Well, it really depends. But, you know, Twitter recently announced that their employees can continue to work from home forever if they choose. So,
but I think for Elon Musk, if you're designing, he said we're going to continue to make the best products and the most advanced products in the world. You have to, I would think you need to collaborate on that. And how do you go make an electric car without talking to your team?
Right.
So I think sometimes some of the best work we do here too, I could never, if it weren't for the team, I couldn't do my job. We have to collaborate or none of this happens.
Right. Makes sense.
All right.
So we'll see how that goes.
I am happy about this for these folks. Once upon a time, I was a White House intern, but now for the first time ever, the White House is going to pay its interns, and they're going to do that because they want to remove the barriers for students who wouldn't ordinarily be able to take an unpaid internship.
Well, that's the thing. You have to pay for your housing, your food, everything, right, when you're down there in Washington. So I would imagine that's very expensive, especially nowadays. So it only makes sense that President Biden will now offer this service for the kids to be able to get paid while they're there.
Absolutely.
To make some money and pay their cost of living while they're down there.
Right, and I'm sure they put it in a new budget, in a new bill, so it's in there. And a lot of companies are doing the same thing. And, you know, in all these super competitive industries, internships are always unpaid. Now, mine, you at least got 4 college credits, so you were given something like it was an exchange of not taking a class. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it did go toward graduation, but a lot of us would, after work, maybe have a separate waitressing job or something to pay for spending money.
Right.
But you would probably need support to help with housing, unless you lived in that area.
100%. So I think it's great. Good for them.
Yeah, so good for them. So I don't know how it is nowadays. It used to be you just there's an online application. So good luck for everybody who's applying.
And yeah, this is actually the first time that they're going to be having interns since the for the past couple of years of the pandemic. So they're looking for candidates for the fall 2022. So
okay.
You can apply and.